Hey everyone! Thanks for coming out to our second annual Facebook Social Good Forum. It's great to be in New York with all of you. Now, before we get started today, I just want to say that this is a really impressive group of people here. You know, some of the people here have individually saved hundreds of people's lives, have mobilized thousands of volunteers, and have raised millions of dollars for important causes. So before we get started today, I just want to take a moment to just say thank you to you for all of the important work that you're doing in your communities and around the world. So thank you, guys. Now, we're here today to talk about how we can help you do even more. But first, I think it's important to take a moment to talk about why what you're all doing is so important in the first place. You're running organizations and doing things that are supporting families with kids with autism and grandparents with Alzheimer's. You're helping to teach girls how to code and helping families overcome homelessness. You're feeding children who are hungry and standing up for the basic human rights of people all over the world. But everywhere that you work, you're not just doing the work. You're bringing people closer together. Right? And you're giving people a sense of purpose and meaning. And you know, this year I did this personal challenge to travel around and visit all the US states I hadn't been to before. And my goal was really to get out of my own bubble in Silicon Valley and get a chance to hear from people directly about what matters to them. And I just wrapped up this challenge a couple of weeks ago. And the biggest thing I really learned this year is that this sense of community is so much more important to people than what we normally discuss. And this is something that I think a lot of you in this room already appreciate. Right? Everywhere you go, you know, people have stories about how communities help celebrate us when we're up, and they support us when we're down. They give us the sense of purpose and belonging, that we are a part of something that is bigger than ourselves, that we are not alone. They give us the strength to expand our horizons beyond the people in our immediate circle so we can care about people in other places too. And look, you know, we don't all agree on everything. Right? That's not going to be a surprise to anyone here. But one thing that I found that a lot of people do agree on is that the thing that matters the most to us in our lives is what's happening around us, with our family and our friends and in our communities. So what I appreciate about what all you are doing and the organizations you're running is that this focus on building community is something that you do every day. And I find it really inspiring. And I think that we can all learn something from the work that you're doing. And because for all of the different things that might try to pull people apart, if we could focus a little bit more on strengthening our communities, then that will help us build some more common ground and help us all move forward together. So this is something that I know that everyone in this room cares a lot about. And it's something that I think that Facebook can hopefully help make a difference in. So earlier this year, we changed our whole company's mission. It's for the first time in our history, we did this, to now focus on helping to give people the power to build community, to bring the world closer together. But we can't do this by ourselves. This is a huge mission. So, you know, what our job really is to go see people who are already using this platform to do good, and then build tools to help you do even more. And the reality is that people have been using Facebook to make a difference for as long as these tools have existed. Usually they do this without talking to us. But it's a good reminder that a lot of the best things that happen aren't because some engineer in California started building something, but they start with someone somewhere who has an idea and is passionate about it and does what they need to do to make it real. So take fundraising for causes, for example. You know, when I started Facebook, I wasn't thinking about it as a way to raise money to fight disease. But you know, a few years in, we started noticing that people were using it to raise money for a lot of different causes, you know, including raising money for healthcare costs for a friend and for people halfway around the world. Dr. Basil Terminini is here with us today. I had a chance to meet him yesterday. Doctor, where are you? There you go. So Dr. Terminini works in Ohio, but is originally from Syria. And his mother is still in Aleppo. And after the attacks, he started a fundraiser on Facebook for the Syrian American Medical Society. And you raised $1.5 million for medical care for people over there. So And he just said, I just couldn't watch what was happening without doing something about it. So, thank you. And over the years, people like Dr. Terminini have inspired us to build specific tools for helping people to raise money in fundraising. And today we want to take this a step further. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to eliminate all of the payment transaction fees that go towards fundraising donations on Facebook. So now 100% of the money that people donate on Facebook is going to go to the causes that they care about. And I know that this is something that a lot of you have talked to us about for a while, so thank you for the feedback. All right. But we want to go further than this. So we're also announcing that we're creating a $50 million annual Facebook donations fund to match all of the donations that are made on Facebook to causes each year. And the idea here is that we want to really double down on helping to support communities that are recovering from disasters and really help the people on Facebook to support the causes that they want to support. But we want to do one more thing too, which is we're going to open up what we call the fundraiser API. So what this means is that any individual or nonprofit now is going to be able to take any fundraiser that they have on any site, not just Facebook, and link it to Facebook. And the idea here is that it should be easy to donate to a fundraiser or share a fundraiser, no matter where it gets started. So we've been testing this with the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. And in the initial tests that we've been running, they've seen a more than 40% increase in the amount of money that they've been able to raise. So I'm really optimistic about this. I think that this is going to be really exciting, and I'm optimistic to get it into more of your hands. So those are 3 steps that we're trying to take on fundraising. Now, in addition to raising money, we've also seen people use these tools to help bring people together in times of crisis. So several years ago, after the Fukushima earthquake in Japan, one of our engineers over there realized that a bunch of the people he knew in the disaster area were using Facebook to post that they were safe, so their family and friends could know that they were safe. Because when there's a disaster going on, the thing that's most important to you is just knowing that the people you care about are safe. So we started building this tool called Safety Check. And what it does, it automatically asks people in a disaster region if they're safe. And then it takes their response and it notifies all their friends and family. And so far, since we launched Safety Check, it has notified people more than 3 billion times that their friends and family are safe. Now, recently we've seen people want to do even more than just see whether the people they care about are safe. A lot of people want to know what people in a disaster area need. So we built this tool, Community Help, that what it does is it matches up volunteers who might have food or shelter or other resources with the people in a region who need them. And the story is coming out of how people are using this to bring people together and help each other are pretty incredible. So yesterday I had the chance to meet these 2 brothers, Nathan and Austin Seth, who are here today. And so they're students at Texas A&M, and Nathan told me that after Hurricane Harvey, he saw through Community Help a post from someone who was trapped in the floods who needed to be rescued. So you called up Austin, and you got in your boat, and rowed up to Dickinson, Texas, and in one day, you 2 single-handedly rescued 20 people. So Austin said that Community Help helped them reach some of these folks faster than even some of the first responders could. So thank you for what you did. It's amazing. Now, today we want to take another step here too, right? So just like what we're doing with the fundraiser API, we want to open up the Community Help API, so that way disaster relief organizations can get access to more of the data that's in the tool to help direct their resources towards the people who need them. So now, organizations like the Red Cross are going to have access to data from Community Help to see where people need certain resources, and they're going to have access to tools like our location tools and our network, to make sure that their supplies are actually getting to the people who need the help. So my hope here is that this is going to help some of you do your important jobs maybe a little more easily. Now, we're also working on a few tools to help make it easier for people to help each other with some specific challenges. So one example is that a lot of countries don't have enough blood donors to provide everyone with reliable access to all of the safe blood that they need. Right, so we noticed that every week there are thousands of posts in India alone of people asking for blood donations. So a couple of months ago, we started working with experts and nonprofits and donors and blood banks to build a tool that helps people register. And the way that it works is that you can register to be a blood donor, and then you'll get notified through Facebook if a person or an organization nearby needs a donation. And if you need blood, you can get connected with people who could potentially supply that donation. And so far, since we've launched this, more than 4 million people have registered to be blood donors. So now we're going to expand this to Bangladesh. And the goal is going to be to roll this out to more and more countries around the world where it's important. Now, another example of an important challenge that needs better tools is suicide prevention. Because when you're trying to keep people safe, speed is really important. So that's a place where tools can help out. So we started talking to experts in the area, and we started building some AI tools that can flag for our team and then flag for first responders when people are posting on Facebook or expressing thoughts about suicide or self-harm, so we can help get them the help that they need quicker. And in the first month alone, or in the last month, since we launched this in the US, these tools have helped first responders reach out and help more than 100 people who needed that support quickly. So now we're starting to roll these tools out in most other countries around the world too, and that's something that I'm really proud of the work that we're doing now. So we've talked about a few ways today that people are using Facebook to make a difference and help each other. From raising money to organizing, to volunteering, to helping out with blood donations and suicide prevention. So I want to finish up today by talking about one more way that I hope that people on Facebook can help each other out, and it's about mentorship. So one of the big lessons that I took away from my travel challenge this year is that our relationships really shape our lives a lot more than I think we realize. And if our relationships can help us set our sights just a little bit higher, then we would all be better off for it. You know, I had this experience when I was in Indiana, and I went to this juvenile detention center, and I got a chance to meet some of the kids who were in there. And some of them were in there for really serious, violent crimes, but others were in there because they were behaving badly in school. And one of the heartbreaking things that I learned is that if you go to juvenile detention, you actually end up becoming more likely to commit a crime and end up in prison later than you would have if you'd misbehaved similarly but not ended up being detained. So basically, if you think about it, we're building the wrong social network for those kids, right? The wrong relationships, and that is shaping their lives. Similarly, relationships shape economic mobility too. Right? So Raj Chetty at Stanford has done some really compelling research that shows that one of the big factors in economic mobility is the community and the place that you grew up in. So I think that there's really something to this idea, that our relationships and the people around us help shape our path a lot more than we may realize. And yet, one piece of research that I also find pretty troubling is that the average American has fewer than 3 people that they consider a close friend who they feel like they could turn to for support. So that led me to sit down with our team and ask, what could we do here so that in addition to helping to connect people with people you may know, that we can also help connect you with people you should know? And I think a big part of the answer is mentorship. So over the last couple of days, I had a chance to meet Kaylee and her mentor Barry, who are here today. Stand up, guys. It's Now, neither of Kaylee's parents had gone to college, and so the idea was pretty unfamiliar to her. until she met Barry, who's her mentor, who she met through this program iMentor that matches up adults who want to mentor with teenagers who want the support. And she said that Barry really opened her eyes to what college is and helped her out at every step along the way through the process. So when you were writing your college essay, Barry helped edit it while you were on your honeymoon, she told me. When you created a fundraiser to help raise money for college, Barry's family chipped in. And now you fast forward it, and Kaylee is at school at SUNY Geneseo right here in New York, and is the first generation in her family to go to college. So, thank you. Now, until now, Facebook has mostly focused on helping connect us with people we already know. But I think it may be just as important to help connect people with people outside of their social circle, to provide a new source of support and inspiration. So that's why we're starting today to test Facebook mentorship and support. So it's a new tool that combines the expertise of nonprofits with the community of Facebook to help connect people who have shared experiences and shared goals, but who don't know each other yet in life. And the idea here is to make it easy for anyone to volunteer to be a mentor, or anyone to sign up to get a mentor if they want one. And for our initial test here, we're going to work with two great nonprofits, iMentor, who I mentioned before, and the International Rescue Committee, who have many, many years of experience in education and crisis recovery. So here's how the program works. Right? Mentors and mentees are going to be matched by the nonprofit partners, and they're going to go through a custom step-by-step program that is also developed by the nonprofit partner on Facebook. And so this is an example here of iMentor's 24-week program to help get through your first year in college. And we're launching this with them today. So eventually the goal is going to be to expand this to help connect more people and more partners and have more different kinds of programs. And this is something I'm really optimistic about, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you soon. So one of the things that I find just really inspiring is that the Facebook community, it's full of people who need help, but it's also full of people who want to give it, right? Through organizing and volunteering and raising money, and sometimes just being there for someone. And there's no doubt that we live in a challenging time right now. But one of the things that strikes me so much is the deep sense of optimism that you all have. Right? This belief that even in the face of real challenges, right, disease, poverty, hunger, that every one of us can make a difference. One of my favorite sayings is that there are two kinds of people in the world: optimists and pessimists. And the saying goes that optimists tend to be successful, and pessimists tend to be right. And the idea is that if you think that something's going to be terrible and it's going to fail, then you're going to look for the data points that prove you right, and you'll find them. Right? That's what pessimists do. But if you think that something is possible, then you're going to try to find a way to make it work. And even when you make mistakes along the way, and even when people doubt you, you're going to keep pushing until you find a way to make it happen. And what I appreciate about all of you is that you're the optimists. You're the ones who will drop anything to lend people a hand, to support a good cause, to make people's lives just a little bit easier. And you're not doing it for the credit or recognition. You just want to help. That's the community spirit. Right? That's what makes us stronger. Not the technology we build or the media we all share. It's all of you. And it's our responsibility to help you do more. So that's what today is all about. And I want to thank you all for being out here today. And I want to thank you all for everything that you do for your communities and for the world every single day. It is an honor to be here with you and to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much.